right now I'm in second gear. Now I'm in second gear with the overdrive on, which Welcome back to the channel. This is a 71 Torino with a gear vendor's overdrive. Now this Torino is a 351 Cleveland car with a C4 automatic. That's a 3-speed, going through a 9-inch rear with 350 gears. I installed the gear vendor's unit myself last winter, and you can find both videos I made that detailed that installation right here on YouTube. So with the gear vendors, there's two drive modes. You have manual mode, and then you have what they call the Autodrive feature. I'm going to start us off with the Autodrive feature, kind of demonstrate that, and then I'll demonstrate manual mode. So to put the gear vendors into the Autodrive mode, you flip the paddle here, hit the foot switch, and now it's ready to rock. So at 47 miles an hour, the gear vendors will shift into overdrive automatically. There it is, now we're in overdrive. So what drew me to the gear vendors over, say, an AOD or a 4R70 was that you end up, other than I wanted overdrive, of course, you end up essentially having a 6-speed transmission because you are able to turn the gear vendors on and off in any gear. So you know, obviously you can turn it on while you're cruising in high gear, but you can also turn the gear vendors on while you're in second gear, for instance, and utilize a gear that's between second and third. You can also turn the gear vendors on while you're in first gear and utilize a gear that's between first and second. It's pretty cool. So I'm still in Autodrive, and the biggest difference between Autodrive and manual mode is basically when you can turn the overdrive on. In Autodrive, you have to be going a minimum of 47 miles an hour before you can turn the overdrive on, whereas in manual mode, you only need to be going about 25 miles an hour. But with that said, you can still utilize, gear splitting and all that while you're in Autodrive. Kick down into second, that was with the overdrive on, so it just makes for a really nice passing gear. So when it comes to the extra speeds you get from the gear vendors, I would say that other than high gear with overdrive, that second gear with overdrive is kind of the most practical. I mean, it makes for a really nice passing gear, especially in a car like this with 350 gears, where if you're going 55, 60 miles an hour and you gun it, the motor, there's not really enough space in the RPM band for the motor to kick down. And if it does kick down, you're going to be in a tightly wound area, and you're not there's just nowhere for the motor to go. Whereas in overdrive, when I slam the throttle and it kicks down, well, in second gear with overdrive on, there's a lot of space for the motor to kind of spool up. So it just really unlocks a cool, performance band that the car just didn't have before. So I'm in manual mode now, and depending on how your car is geared, it may make more sense for you to drive around in manual mode all the time. So the real perk of being in manual mode over Autodrive is that you can shift into overdrive at a lower speed. as I was coming into the turn. I was in second gear. I turned the overdrive on for second gear plus overdrive, and then shifted into third gear. And while I was shifting into third gear, I turned the overdrive back off for just regular third gear. And then at the end there, turn the overdrive back on for third gear with overdrive. So, you know, pretty fun there to have all those different speeds to choose from. You know, and it just really enhances the flexibility that the car has. You know, not only do you have the ability to just cruise on a freeway without the motor, you know, humming, but you also have these other, you know, in-between gears you can utilize for a lot of added performance. There are a lot of benefits to installing an overdrive into a car like this. I mean, there's performance benefits, there's fuel economy benefits, but I think the biggest benefit of having the overdrive in this car is just how much more flexible it makes this car. The car now cruises very comfortably on the freeway. The overdrive off. Turning it back on. You know, it just really makes a huge difference with these cruise RPMs. I think that's gonna do it for this video. I know that there are likely things that people were interested in or wanted to know about this setup that I didn't cover. And if there are, let me know in the comments, because I do have more plans in store with this car. And though I haven't decided if I'm going to do another video regarding this car, I may. And so maybe in that video I'll be able to answer some of those questions that you still have. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.